What's good, people? It's your boy Mac Attack, back at it again with some more boxing news, views, and opinions. And in this case, a breakdown on the fight. I wanted to wait until everybody else did their breakdown so I could give mine, just so I could say I was right. I told y'all everything I said was gonna happen. So let's recap. What exactly happened in the fight? What did I see? What do I see in Ryan's future? And what exactly went wrong out there for him? Let's get it, y'all. So first off, I told y'all that Ryan has bad fundamentals. It wasn't about speed. It wasn't about anything physical. Fundamentals are something that don't carry over in the physicality. You have people that can go out and they can train hard and they can look good and they can have stamina and they can have stuff like speed and they can have power, but fundamentals are really what carry you out there. Imagine having a brand new car, but the car doesn't have a functioning dashboard, or the car doesn't have a functioning electronic system or something like that. You know, it's good to look at, it's good to sit in, until you have to crank it up and drive it and actually use it. It looks just as good as any other car. And in Ryan's situation, he was a show car for a lot of his career. He looked good on the showroom floor. You know, when you test drive him but not run him too hard, you know, he can perform well. But this was a situation where, you know, he hopped on the track with a lot of twists and turns, and he really got exposed, you know. And yeah, I would like to say exposed, so let's talk about it. First of all, like I said, his lack of tools. He thought aggression and confidence would make up and be a substitute for skills. Now, he went out there, he had the same attitude as Rolly Romero. They actually reminded me a lot of each other in their approach to Tank. Oh, I'm gonna knock him out. How you gonna knock him out, Rolly? Oh, I'm just gonna knock him out. It's not about having a strategy. It's about just confidence. They think that's all it takes. I'ma just talk down on him, see if I can psych him out. You know, I'ma see if I can get enough people to believe in me. And then I'ma just go in there super confident. Oh, I'ma knock him out. I'm gonna knock him out in 2 rounds. I'ma knock him out with 1 punch. Riley got knocked out in 1 punch. Ryan Garcia, he said 2 rounds. What round did he go down the first time in? The second round, you know? Like, that's what I'm saying. A lot of these guys, they go out here with no real plan. And that's what happened too. The second thing, he didn't have a strategy specific to Tank. He just said, I'm gonna go out here and do X, Y, and Z. Oh man, I'm gonna go out here and knock Tank out, man. Oh man, I'm too tall for Tank. My heart's too long for Tank. Tank don't care about none of that shit. He done fought so many different type of styles in the amateurs. He done fought people bigger and stronger than Ryan, with more skill than Ryan. And then a lot of people like to hype themselves up on Ryan Garcia's skill level. But here at MacWorld, we knew that would only last until the fight actually went on. Then nobody would try to stand on him having X, Y, and Z amount of skills. Because it's easy to look at the fights where he wasn't using a lot of skills and he could just walk fighters down. And then try to direct that to us. Oh, he got skills, he just didn't need them. Now he got in a fight where he had to show his skills. And what happened? He didn't have a strategy specific for Tank. He just had things that he thought he was gonna do. When you don't have a plan, that's called being foolhardy. When you run into something, that's not called being brave. Ryan thought he would just walk Tank down the way he did other smaller fighters. And Tank is a good counterpuncher, arguably one of the best. He walked right into punches. And when he seen that his normal strategy of walking forward would walk him right into a punch, he didn't have nothing else to do, because that's another thing. He was easily telegraphed. His punch speed doesn't change. His levels don't change. The types of punches he throw doesn't change. So he was easily telegraphed by Tank Davis. And he actually got knocked down twice when he was throwing the same punch. He got caught open the same way twice. The first time the left caught him to the face, square in the middle of his face. The second time the left caught him in the body, square in his liver. You know, and it was over for him. You know, it wasn't too much he could do. Another problem he had was he had a bad corner strategy. I talked about Ryan's bad fundamentals, and I said this thing too that was a big part of the fight that played out exactly how I said it would. I said that learned bad habits are worse because it's harder to unlearn a bad habit than it is to learn something that you've never known before. And Ryan has a lot of learned bad habits. He would do things like get caught out of position, and then go into a ball and turn his whole body away from the punches. Ryan is not used to slipping punches. He's used to just moving his head out the way. He's used to doing things like that to put himself in a position to be right back where he needs to be to throw another punch on this stationary speed bag. Ryan didn't practice fighting moving targets, and from what it sounded like when he did in sparring, he got knocked down. So he was walking straight in, which was another one of his learned bad habits, just walking straight in, not coming from an angle, not punching from angles, not doubling the jab. No type of footwork involved. Ryan has zero footwork. They always talk about his fast hands and this and that and the third, but what they don't talk about is Ryan has zero footwork at all. He can't move fast. He can't move back fast. He can't move to the left, to the right fast, and he doesn't have head movement. He doesn't even bother with it. Ryan's idea of head movement is turning his whole body away and curling up into a ball. He doesn't have good fundamentals. And then he says he's going to 140. 140 would be even worse for Ryan. He was able to get away with a lot of stuff using his size and not having to limit his hydration against these little guys at 135. And bumping them up, like, making them come up to where he can fight them like catch weights and stuff like that, which Tank did him the favor by giving him the catch weight. But when he gets up to 140 and he fights guys that are natural 140 pounders and rehydrate up even bigger, he's not going to have that same advantage that he had. I actually think that he will retire before he goes to 140. I don't see Ryan fighting at 140. I honestly don't see him fighting anymore. I called that he was going to leave Golden Boy, so we could all say Mac was right about that. I called that he would leave Joe Goosen, that Joe Goosen was going to be the first part of the rebranding of him, trying to throw his trainer under the bus. And I called that, even though he said him and Joe Goosen been together for a long time. I told you he was leaving Joe Goosen. And like I told you, the next thing is he's going to end up leaving Golden Boy. That was his last fight with Golden Boy. But I see Ryan retiring from boxing because when he takes another fight, if he doesn't have... The one thing about Golden Boy is they protected Ryan. When Ryan tries to go out there at 140 and fight Gary Antoine Russell and Regis Prograis and all those guys, that lack of head movement and footwork and all that, he gonna get beat worse than Tank. Tank kind of spared him because Tank don't throw a lot of punches. Regis Prograis and Gary Antoine Russell and those guys are not gonna spare Ryan. It's gonna be even worse. I don't see him getting into 2 more dog fights. I see him maybe having 1 more fight that's a dog fight, and then him losing bad and saying he's gonna reevaluate, whether he wanna come back or not. But that's all I got for y'all, man. I want to let y'all know, yep, I was right. And I got a couple more reflections on this Ryan Garcia situation post-fight. We gonna get into it, though. But until then, remember this, y'all. You can play games, but you can't play boxing. I'm gone.